Great morning, great morning, great morning. I am Nicole D. Jones, and I am just happy and grateful for another day. I'm happy and grateful for life. I tell you every week, I don't take days for granted. I don't take you for granted. I am happy and grateful for you. I want to remind you, as always, that you are healthy, you are wealthy, and you are prosperous. Everything your hands go to touch, it must, it shall, and it will manifest, prosper, and grow great things because you are great. You are great. So it's Meal Prep Monday, and my apologies. I came on a minute late, but I kind of want to piggyback, and I need to put last week's online. I did not realize that I didn't do that. But, last week I was just kind of talking about what was your belief. I started thinking about it. And even before we start talking about our belief system, I think that we have to understand that believing is hard work. Let me just start right there. All right. Because we have so many thoughts that run through our mind, and it running in our mind, you got to remember that's the only battlefield we have. So believing can actually be hard work. All right. If we're true to ourselves. So we got to start talking about foundational things. And one thing that was really laid on my heart is to share with you. I'm going to just say what I wrote. Your future depends on your character. So this journey, it depends on your character, not your gifts and your talent. Okay. So when we start thinking about belief systems, when we start thinking about how we're going to set up our standards, our goals, we got to first look at our character. All right. And one thing that I want you to remember, because like I say all the time, your spirit with soul wrapped in this flesh. All right. We're kingdom. Our original DNA is kingdom, is kingship. And with the kingdom, with God, you got to remember that he deals with principles. All right. Principles are laws. So even when we start dealing with things, dealing with our character, you have to do it with the foundation of principles, because principles don't change. Okay. That's just like the truth is the truth. You may like it, you may not, but it is what it is. It does not change, whatever the truth is of whatever situation it may be. So you have to get to a place where you're willing to build your character, or make sure your character is lined up with principle. All right. So here's the thing. If you're a person of principle, then you usually aren't the ones who live. You can't live on principle, or that be your focus, and popularity. All right. You can't do that. Character has to live on principle, not what's popular. You got to make sure that your character is based on principle, because with principles, it's consistent. It's even predictable because it doesn't change. So when you think of the character of yourself, you got to know that what builds loyalty, what builds trust is when a person is consistent. When you say what you mean and you mean what you say, but not only do you mean it, you do it. Every time you put yourself out there or you say something and you see it through, that builds trust, that builds safety. A person that builds loyalty. And anyone who's doing business, if you can have the right character that's based on principle, that's what'll have people follow you. Okay. I don't talk about the best things. I'm not even the best speaker, but there are certain people that will listen to me and continue to listen to me, not because I'm so great, but my character has been consistent in that space, and it will produce loyalty. All right. So here's the thing, because that's what character attracts. But with character, what is character? Because, I like to define words. Character is the commitment to a set of values without compromise. All right. So when someone thinks of your character, are you committed? Well, actually, you got to ask yourself, what set of values are you committed to? Okay. Because you want to be committed to principles. So what are you committed to? Because with character, the definition of it is commitment to a set of values without compromise. So the things you value, you won't compromise. Okay. No matter what goes on in my life, I will never be an adulterer. I said never, because I value my covenant with God and my husband. I would leave before I went that route. Okay? It's a value, so I'm going to hold strong to it. All right. So, and I won't compromise it. Now, you have to know that the things that you value is what protects you. Value will protect you. So it doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter what other people are doing around me, and that I'm not going to do it, because value will protect you. Okay. This is all about character. Character is the dedication to a set of standards without wavering or compromise. All right. So it's the commitment to the set of values. It's being dedicated to a set of standards. So when you are in a place where you're setting standards for yourself, you've got to do it based on your character. You've got to evaluate. You got to do a self-evaluation. We gotta address the character before we can start putting belief systems in place. Because if you're not in the right character, your belief systems won't be to the best that they can be. All right. So here's the thing. Dedication is a set of standards without wavering or compromise. All right. So your standards is what produces your character. All right. Your standards is what produces character. So for the things that you have set as standards, you have to have them with no excuse of breaking them. All right. When you set standards, it's no different than when you set a goal. But when you set standards for yourself, you have to look at it as a principle, and you won't waver from it. All right. What is a standard? I'm not a liar, so you shouldn't lie. Because another thing with it is your level of integrity. All right. You shouldn't lie. That should be a standard you set for your character, because you don't want someone to look at you like a liar. I'm not a thief. I won't steal. Then that means I'm not going to steal time from my job. I'm not going to lie and tell them I'm sick and I'm not sick. Your character shouldn't even allow you to do that. If you want to take some time off, then take some time off. Maybe you don't give them a reason at all. Okay? If you have the time, use it. But don't lie about it. Don't steal, because then that makes you like a stealer of time if you told something that wasn't true. All right? I hope y'all get that. That was an example. But character, it's self-imposed discipline for the sake of moral conviction. Your personal convictions. Can we get to a place where we have standards and our personal conviction is enough for us not to do it? Can we go drive our car and just not run the red light at 10 o'clock p.m. at a four-way intersection, although there are no other cars? Can we just not need the police, but because it's us? Y'all, just side note, y'all do know those four-way intersections have sensors. That's what those lines are. So if it ain't turning red, just go back and forth. Go back and forth. If you roll on it and then put your car right at that white strip, I guarantee you it'll turn. Okay. Oh, that was a good one. But it's self-imposed discipline for the sake of your moral conviction. All right, your integrity. Character goes with being integral. Okay, it's the level of integrity that you're willing to have for yourself. It's that when you're the only one somewhere and no one would ever know, you would still choose to do right. All right. So we've got to get to a place where we're willing to evaluate our character. We're willing and we will want for it to grow. In order for us to want it to grow, we have to be willing to walk in integrity. We have to be willing to have the foundation of it on principle, because principles are law. They don't change. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. All right. At a four-way intersection, if there are no cars, why can't I run the red light? There's no other car, right? But you can't because it's a law, period. And if you break the law, there are consequences. Now, someone may not see you, but now they done got smart and put little cameras up. So then when you get this ticket, a few weeks later, you're like, what? When did I do? You don't even remember. Let me get off that soapbox. Can y'all tell maybe I did that once or twice? I ain't gonna do it no more. So anyway, but we really have to, when it thinks of, when you're known by your character, okay? And one thing that I feel like, especially because I tell y'all, we're supernatural in this natural place. Kingdom is built on principle and law. So I believe that that's what we're supposed to do as well. When we start talking about our belief systems and putting belief systems in place, we've got to check our character first. You've got to look at what are your morals. Enough, you will do what's right, even if you know you never get caught. Whew. This is the thing. If we don't start setting standards for ourselves, our gifts and our talents can destroy you. They will destroy you. All right? If you get good at being sneaky, it will destroy you. You'll start thinking you can get away with stuff. It will destroy you. It's only your character that will protect you in your future. It's your character. You allow yourself to be in a position where you can be confident in your character speaking for itself. So when these false accusations come to you, you can stand with integrity. You can stand on what's right. You can stand on the standards you create and you will not compromise them. You set a standard. Single women, set a standard. Married women, set a standard. I told y'all last week, we were not created. Genesis 1:26 gave us dominion, but we do not have dominion over one another. All right? We have dominion over the gift that we are. You are a gift. You dominate your gift. How do you dominate your gift? You become a good steward over your soul. How do you become a good steward over your soul? You look at the principles and the laws of God, and you set your standards based on those, not willing to compromise them. That's it. When you do that, you begin to build your confidence. You begin to build your character. You begin to become what you are. You're no longer chasing what's popular because those are fads. They come and go. But when you are who you are and you have built certain things and you won't compromise, regardless to who gets upset, when you know it's right, you can stand on it. Okay? Anyone who's known me for a long time has seen me go through different seasons of my life, there are certain things that are constant. There are certain things that are consistent. There are certain things that I just won't do. I'm not going to judge anyone. I'm not going to do whatever. I could even be sitting in the room. I'm not going to partake. It's because this is a standard I've set for me. All of us have places where standards are easy, and that's what got us going. Okay. That's where people can trust and be loyal to you in those areas. But all of us have standards that we still need to set. And when we look at them, we've got to be willing to do it uncompromisably. Because when you compromise, you destroy yourself. You're hurting yourself, no one else. Now, you will affect people, anyone that was called to you, anyone that should be a part, anyone that should receive something from you in that space. You affect them, but ultimately, you're destroying you. All right? So I just want to go over this because, like I said, our future, our journey, it depends on your character. If we are a gift, your being is a gift to the world. I just said this morning. Okay, your name is for the world. You were born in purpose for the world. There is something that you have that I need. There is something you have that someone else needs, and no one can give it to me but you. No one can give it to them but you. So what happens? He tries to play with us. The battlefield in the mind. So what you have to do, principles or laws, they never change. All right? There can be no disagreement with a principle. You can dislike it, you can challenge it, all those things, but a principle is a principle, a law is a law. Okay? So you want to make sure that you're committing to a set of values that you will not compromise. You want to make sure that you're dedicated to a set of standards. You don't waver or compromise your standards. Okay? And you want to make sure that you become self-disciplined. You become a good steward over your own soul based on your moral convictions. When you're convicted about something, stop for you. Even is around, no one can see you, and there's something inside of you like, don't do that. You know you're not supposed to do that. Don't do it. All right. I'm about to get on soapbox. I'm gonna leave it alone. So, whatever. And know that you're not for sale. How about that? Don't sell yourself. Don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself cheap. Those personal convictions, have them in place, those standards, because the longer you stand on them, your character gets stronger. Your confidence gets stronger. You don't have to, I don't argue about a lot of things anymore because I'm just at a place in my life that if you don't know me and you don't know my character, I don't have the energy, the breath, or the time to get you to know it. If my life doesn't speak for itself, good or bad, if there's something in my life that's not constant and consistent, then don't jump on the bandwagon with me. Shame on you. Correct me. Tell me. If you care about me, tell me. But then there are other things that if it lines up, if there is a standard that has been set and you see the building of character, trust it. Understanding that we're human. But when you set standards and your character is based on principle, it won't change. And then you're okay being the oddball. I'm so okay with a friend of mine's kids and my kids calling us corny. I'm so okay with it because I don't have to be popular, but I will be consistent. All right. So, Meal Prep Monday, I'm going to put up last week's. I want you to go back and listen to this. And before we start setting our belief system, I want you to evaluate what your character is. Be willing to set your character on principles because principles are laws. They don't change. We don't have to like it. We don't have to agree with it, but it is what it is. All right. You obey the law. If you don't, there's consequences. We get to that place because we're going to set standards. And in these standards, we're not going to compromise ourselves. We're not going to sell ourselves short. Okay? So I want you to stay focused. I want you to stay humble. I want you to stay positive. I want you to understand that you are a gift, not only to your friends, family, loved ones, and enemies, but to this entire world. There is something that you have, and the legacy of your name will be remembered even after this journey. So it is imperative to have your standards set, that your character can grow, and that the loyalty will come to you that you deserve. All right? So I am Nicole D. Jones, and I want you to continue to have a fantabulous rest of the day. Smooches.